Tonight, a record July for a smoky sky in Regina. A small earthquake hits near Esterhazy, and how some industries are hurting from the uncertainty of $10 a day daycare in Saskatchewan.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Recently, land of the living skies has been more like land of the smoky skies. Wildfires, not just in northern Saskatchewan, but in Manitoba, Alberta, and BC, have resulted in numerous days of low air quality. In fact, as Jacob Carr tells us, a new record was set for the month of July.
There have been plenty of days this summer where a thick smoke has enveloped Regina, caused by numerous wildfires in the northern part of Saskatchewan. But Environment and Climate Change Canada say that is not the only source where the smoke is blowing in from.
So what we've been looking at is a lot of smoke from fires, not only in north central Saskatchewan, which have been bringing a lot of the smoke that we've been seeing recently. There's also been quite a bit of smoke this summer so far from fires in Alberta and into Manitoba.
As a result, smoke has been an issue all over the nation, especially in the Queen City. This July, 109 smoke hours were recorded in Regina, making it the smokiest month on record since the start of smoke hours data collection in 1953.
I mean, definitely this summer has been a lot different with the smoke and things like that. I try not pay attention to it too much, but definitely the heaviness in my lungs, I can definitely feel it once I'm doing physical activity and things like that.
Another Regina resident, Murray Kyle, isn't letting the smoke stop him from getting out for walks with his dog, but admits he's never seen anything like the severity of the wildfires in the province.
Boy, they're terrible. Yeah, I don't remember them ever being in the news when growing up or anything like experiencing this.
Environment and Climate Change Canada says this year has the potential to be the smokiest on record for the entire season in southern Saskatchewan.
We have 215 hours of smoke as of yesterday. That's second place to 2023, which had 263 hours, but that was all the way until October. So we'll be having to see where this season stacks up when all is said and done.
Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
And as for Saskatchewan's wildfire fight, as of today, there are 80 active wildfires in the province, 15 not contained, and more than half are undergoing on assessments right now. The province is protecting values for another 16 fires, while 13 communities remain under evacuation orders. The provincial government's expansion of presumptive cancer coverage for Saskatchewan's wildland firefighters is now in effect. As of August the 1st, the province has made adjustments to the Workers' Compensation Act, which now includes presumptive coverage for 22 types of cancer. It's based on legislation brought forward last year and built on existing coverage for other firefighters. Another change assures chiropractors, doctors, psychiatrists, and other licensed practices are covered. From the sky to the ground, earthquakes, not really high on the list of common natural disasters in Saskatchewan, but they do occasionally happen. In the Esterhazy area, a tremor Friday night was enough for some residents to notice. Sierra D'Souza Butts has that story.
Around 8:30 p.m. Friday night, reports started coming in on the eastern side of the province from people saying they felt the ground shake.
They all indicated very mild shaking, so people were aware of it, but this would be too small to be damaging.
About 5 kilometers northeast of the town of Esterhazy, Natural Resources Canada received 10 reports on their Did You Feel It page for tracking seismic activity.
Based on where it occurred and our past knowledge of that region, we think that it was probably related to mining activity and not a natural earthquake, but we don't have that 100% confirmed at this point.
According to the official Earthquakes Canada report, the event registered at magnitude 3.3, considered to be fairly small but large enough that people nearby would feel it. With Mosaic operating its K1 potash mine northeast of Esterhazy, the mayor told CTV News the town is proud to be home to one of the world's richest potash deposits, and with that comes occasional ground movement. Adding, the area has experienced similar tremors in the past, but there is no indication at this time that there is any cause for concern. Following the tremor event, Mosaic says safety checks and inspections found nothing of note.
Mosaic completed all of our regular safety checks and inspections and found no notable findings. We continue to operate as usual, and the all clear was provided at about 10:30 p.m.
Jones added the K1 mine goes about a kilometer underground, and because of its geological makeup, seismic activity is common.
We've really seen no significant structural impact. For that to occur, we'd have to reach into maybe a 6.0 magnitude. The act of mining itself does not cause major seismic events, but mining-induced seismic activity can be caused due to salt removal or injection activities in the area.
Natural Resources Canada says a similar event happened in the same region back in May, which was determined as mine-related. As for this recent event, experts continue to investigate its exact cause. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
Uncertainty over the future of $10 a day childcare in Saskatchewan is having a ripple effect on other sectors of the economy. The current federal-provincial agreement is set to expire next March, and as Wayne Mantika tells us, one Saskatchewan manufacturer of daycare furniture says business is evaporating because of this uncertainty.
This small-town Saskatchewan manufacturer supplies furnishings to childcare centers.
With things like shelving, lockers, anything that schools want made out of wood, and they want to be able to purchase it locally, and we love filling that gap.
Business has declined 80% as daycares face uncertainty over future government funding.
So really what should have been a banner year just nosedived over about the last 2 months. We've had several large contracts just evaporate, and what we're hearing again and again is we don't know if we're going to have funds, we don't know if we're going to have funds, we don't know if we're going to have funds.
Saskatchewan and Alberta are the only provinces that have yet to renew a federal funding agreement that provides $10 a day childcare. The current agreement expires next March. The NDP opposition is calling for assurances.
And there's lots of things they can do here at home while they're waiting to get all the details signed, if that's what they're working on. And I will take their word for it that they are. So the things you can work on here at home is emergency funding for those child care centres who are on the verge of closing because they've had to use up all their reserves.
In a written statement, the province said, the government of Saskatchewan has been clear in our commitment to signing an extension to the current agreement. We continue to work toward achieving the best result for Saskatchewan. The provincial government says it is trying to reach an agreement that will further benefit parents and child care providers. That assurance may not be enough for a child care sector that is now closely monitoring its spending as a precaution. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Cupar.
A third person is facing charges connected to the death of a 53-year-old man last month. On a long weekend, 19-year-old Darcy Manitopes was arrested and charged with manslaughter, forcible confinement, and failure to comply with a release order. On Monday, July 14th, police arrived on a 3000 block of 4th Avenue where the body of Brando PG was discovered. The two other people have been charged in the case. 48-year-old Tarina Pelche was charged with first-degree murder, while 19-year-old Bradley Gartner was charged with manslaughter and forcible confinement. Darcy Manitopes made his first court appearance this morning. And a drug trafficking investigation in Martensville and North Battleford have led to arrests and charges. RCMP executed 2 search warrants last week, one in Martensville, the other in North Battleford. Guns, replica guns, and drugs were all taken into evidence. A 32-year-old Martensville man and a 34-year-old man from North Battleford face multiple charges, including possession for the purpose of trafficking. Beans in for our first look at weather in the eastern part of the province with warnings tonight.
Yeah, we're starting to see not warnings just yet, but we are seeing severe thunderstorm watches in effect for eastern Saskatchewan from about Nipawin all the way down to the southern border, also reaching into east central Saskatchewan. Regina currently does have that severe thunderstorm watch issued. We did see some of that activity this afternoon, and we saw continued rain throughout parts of southern Saskatchewan, including Regina. Temperatures not as warm warm for some areas as others. If we take a look at what we're currently sitting at, some areas like Swift Current currently sitting at 17 degrees, Regina at 20, and it's just a little bit cooler than what our average is. Much warmer further north. Stony Rapids at 27 degrees right now. The average is usually about 26, 27 degrees. We just reached slightly 22 degrees late this afternoon. Actually late this morning, and it's been a cool down since. But we will have a little bit of a warm up returning, but the rain is sticking around. I'll have details coming up for you in your forecast. Lee?
All right, thank you, Sabine. The Queen City X didn't have to deal with any violent storms in the sky or on the grounds, at least according to Regina Police. There were just 5 altercations, including assault, robbery, and other disturbances, along with 1 call each for mischief, theft under $5,000, intoxication of an individual, and a concealed weapon, which police had clarified is for possession of but not using bear spray. The majority of police involvement this year was with reuniting 76 lost or missing children with their families and caregivers. With more on the Queen City X, here's Sierra D'Souza Butts.
As part of their 10-day homestay in Moose Jaw, a group of students from Yokohama, Japan are stopping in Regina.
We are able to take them to host families, take them around the city, bring them here to Regina, experience living with a Canadian family, eating Canadian food, and experiencing the culture.
Passing by the Queen City X, Dupuis says the experience allowed the group to view Canadian culture through a different lens.
Kids are having a wonderful time. They can't get enough of the rides, and they've enjoyed all the food.
They are not the only ones. Youth are also enjoying the event through various activities, including mutton busting. Aiming to teach and connect kids to agriculture.
They come out a lot more brave. I find that they're, some of them are leaving the arena crying, but a lot of them leave the arena with a big smile on their face, and it's wonderful to see it.
Adding, the friendly competition is a first-hand rodeo experience for some.
This year we didn't get the rodeo, so AgriVision wanted to bring egg to QCX, so we just wanted to have a little bit fun for the kids.
Despite this year's exhibition featuring a new midway, people say the fair was still enjoyable.
I think it's great. It's very fun when you're with friends and stuff, and I love it.
The exhibition is one of a kind. I usually think I need to go to Calgary for such an adventure, but I never knew something like this is happening here.
It's so fun. I haven't been here for a couple of years, and coming back, it's so fun. I love it. My friend almost puked on one.
With hopes of returning next year for another summer to remember. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
The city of Regina is celebrating its Friendship City status with neighbors a world away. Today, City of Regina officials mark the 6th anniversary of the official friendship agreement with Fujioka, Japan. The flag raising and ceremony was organized by Regina's Japanese Canadian community, who are responsible for building the relationship.
It's a great cultural exchange, but it can be much bigger than just a cultural exchange. In education, it can be much bigger than that, and it's grown into be something that's very stable and very predictable, and it really shows in many ways what Regina is all about, a cultural, multicultural city that really invests in people and wants to see people succeed. And
Fougere was Regina's mayor when the friendship agreement began. Fujioka is located about 96 kilometers northeast of Tokyo.
Greetings, everyone. When Treaty 4 was signed in 1874, the federal government was obligated to provide agriculture benefits to signing nations. But those conditions were never filled until now. More and more nations throughout Saskatchewan are settling up with Ottawa on these promises, the latest of them being Musqueam First Nation. Brittany Poitras has the story.
A historic meeting took place on Musqueam First Nation, where community and leadership welcomed the federal minister Rebecca Alty for the nation's agricultural benefits claim signing ceremony.
Not a lot of ministers come to the nations. It's always we meet them on their turf, but she took the opportunity to want to come to Musqueam.
Alty began her new role as Minister of Crown Indigenous Relations 2 months ago, and Musqueam was her first stop. The discussion surrounded the terms of Treaty 4, mainly the Agricultural Benefits Clause.
This agreement between our two nations recognizes Canada's failure to fulfill its Treaty 4 obligations to provide agriculture benefits, including farming tools, crops, seeds, and livestock.
Both Chief Tavita and Minister Alti agree that the federal government has not held up their end of the agreement until now.
It was one of our obligations under treaty, and so it's important that we're fulfilling it. It is 150 years late, but that's where it's important to come today and to meet with Chief and Council.
It makes me feel good that Canada is accepting that wrongdoing and Canada is trying to make things right in the way that they can.
The minister says that although settlements were reached, the treaty right to farming equipment and livestock is still applicable.
It was one of the commitments under the treaty, and so making sure that we're implementing it now.
Tavita says the $98.9 million settlement can pave the way for many different developments, including initiatives to make on-reserve housing more accessible.
And this money will certainly help us with new homes, retrofits, or renovations. So we're excited about this. It's going to put Muscopetaing in a good position.
While today marks a first for Minister Alti, it also marks a new beginning for the Muscopetaing First Nation. For Indigenous Circle, I'm Brittany Poitras.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Still ahead, the feds announced tariff help for the softwood lumber industry. And the U.S. Coast Guard reveals its investigation findings in the OceanGate Titan tragedy.
As a trade deal with the U.S. remains in limbo, Prime Minister Mark Carney unveiled new measures today to help the softwood lumber sector. Rachel Aiello has the details of Mark Carney's message to the industry.
Unveiling new measures to snap the Canadian softwood sector's U.S. market dependence. Today, Prime Minister Mark Carney promised new loan guarantees and grants to help keep lumber companies afloat, accelerate product development, diversify markets, and fund retraining efforts.
We cannot count or fully rely on what has been our most valued trading relationship for our prosperity.
The move comes after the U.S. raised duties last month, prompting calls to make resolving the dispute a priority in the broader trade talks. Talks that Carney said today are continuing, despite U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff escalation last week.
I haven't spoken to the president in recent days. We'll speak when it makes sense.
Mark Carney has to deliver.
While polls show Canadians appear willing to give Carney more time, pressure is increasing as they watch Trump make deals with other countries.
Canadians are increasingly worried about Trump and the state of the trade negotiations. Concern on that front has been increasing over the last number of weeks.
Today, as both countries work towards a new North American trade pact, two of Carney's top ministers are in Mexico, talking to officials about how they secured a 90-day pause on higher tariffs.
Perhaps we can also learn something from their approach. They took a much more measured and perhaps low-key approach, and it seemed to work for them.
All of this coming the same day that new federal data shows Canada's merchandise trade deficit has widened to the second highest on record since April's historic dip. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Wildfires are burning across much of Canada, forcing people from their homes and spreading smoke countrywide. 2 wildfires in Newfoundland have destroyed some structures on the province's coast.
The very unfortunate situation is that we can confirm that we have lost some structures overnight, which really was not surprising given that the fire has tripled in size since last night to about 735 hectares right now. Forestry crews are holding the line. They were holding the line on the fire yesterday, but it did take off around 7:30 last night, and as I said, burned aggressively through the night, which led to the tripling in size.
Both those fires on the southeast side of the province are burning out of control. In Alberta, canvassers are going door to door to ask for signatures on a petition looking to make sure that the province stays in Canada.
You know, Albertans are proud Canadians. Albertans consider themselves Canadians first, and for a variety of reasons.
The group known as Forever Canadian gathered in Old Strathcona Saturday to start collecting signatures. The petition calls for a referendum on the question, do you agree that Alberta should remain in Canada? The province's chief electoral officer issued the petition last week. The group must now collect nearly 294,000 signatures before it can be filed with Elections Alberta.
This is not about politics. You know, we may differ on policies and we can squabble over things, but when it comes to being proud of being Canadian, we're all on the same team and we're all working together.
Canvassers have until October 28th to collect the required signatures. Israeli media reports say the country's prime minister is pressing for the full occupation of the Gaza Strip despite opposition from within the Israeli Defense Forces. Several ministers say Benjamin Netanyahu used the term occupation during private conversations as he tried to rally support for the move. Senior officials were quoted as saying that military operations would even take place in areas where Israeli hostages are believed to be held. The IDF's chief reportedly disagrees with the plan, and a cabinet vote on the idea was reportedly postponed. The United Nations calls the reports deeply alarming if true. A new video reveals the dangers of when an airdropped package lands in Gaza as people scramble for that aid. The footage does show hundreds of Palestinians rushing to collect whatever they can, infighting often breaking out about the packages of aid. One piece of video ends up showing two men wrestling over a package, one holding a knife. UN aid agencies have called the airdrops a last resort and are calling on Israel to allow more access to people in need inside Gaza. A new report has found a tragedy involving the Titan submersible was preventable. The tourist craft was on a dive to the Titanic when it imploded back in 2023, killing all 5 on board. And as John Venevali-Rao tells us, the U.S. Coast Guard investigation found major problems with the company behind the Titan, along with its controversial CEO.
What happened to the Titan submersible and the loss of everyone on board, including a teenager, was examined extensively by the U.S. Coast Guard. And with the release of a more than 300-page report, an investigative board finding what many have long believed, that this marine casualty and the loss of 5 lives was preventable.
I'm mad because it happened, and I'm sad that all these people lost their lives. And that's why, to me, it should have never happened. It shouldn't have been allowed to happen.
The report placing blame on OceanGate, the American company behind the experimental sub, run by CEO Stockton Rush, who perished in the implosion. It cites inadequate design, certification, maintenance, and inspection processes for the Titan, adding there was a toxic workplace culture. Some who expressed safety concerns were fired or threatened with dismissal.
To start operations, was there pressure?
Oh, 100%. The report finding the submersible was used despite several prior incidents involving its carbon fiber hull, adding OceanGate was able to operate Titan completely outside the established deep-sea protocols. The Titan had been on a dive off Newfoundland carrying passengers who paid up to $250,000 to see the wreck of the Titanic when the submersible imploded.
The good news is they would have been killed instantly, so they wouldn't have suffered, but they shouldn't have been killed in the first place. This was preventable.
In a statement, OceanGate, which is no longer operating, said we again offer our deepest condolences to the families of those who died and to all those impacted by the tragedy. The report also notes if CEO Stockton Rush had survived, criminal charges against him would have been considered. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Coming up, a Saskatoon Ukrainian dance troupe is back after entertaining crowds in Italy.
Watch The Amazing Race Canada tonight at 9 right here on CTV. Then join me first thing in the morning when I talk to the latest eliminated team about what went wrong.
News, weather, and traffic. It's everything you need. CTV Morning Live. Weekdays 6 to 9.
All right.
right, welcome back. We're going to take a look at what's to come when it comes to the weather here in the Queen City and southern Saskatchewan, all of the province, really. Let's get to it. Today, we did see quite a bit of rain come through in Regina and surrounding areas. Laura, started late morning, early afternoon, and stuck around for most of the day. Only just recently did we see it start to settle and clear out. We did see a little bit of sunshine today. The warmest we got up to was about 21 degrees. Currently, we're sitting at 21, but we also hit 21 around 10 o'clock this morning. That felt like, with the humidity, 28 degrees. This 21 right now is currently sitting in feeling like 24 degrees as we head into this afternoon or this evening. We still have the severe thunderstorm watches issued for eastern Saskatchewan from about Nipawin down to the southern border there. Now, it looks like we should start to see these gradually lift as we head into this evening. Much of it is starting to slowly dissipate. We did see a lot of this activity this afternoon in many parts of southern Saskatchewan. Now, with those severe thunderstorm watches, though, of course, it suggests there is a possibility of development of some severe weather. With that coming very heavy rainfall, 50 to 70 millimeters of rain within an hour, wind gusts up to 90 kilometers an hour, and hail up to the size of golf balls. Now, again, it's starting to look like many of those storm systems are breaking up and leaving us with a little bit of rain. However, in and around the parkland, we could still expect to see some storm activity coming through this evening. And as we head into later this evening, most of it, as you can see, will start to clear. And as we head into tomorrow, you can see much of southern Saskatchewan will clear, and we'll see we'll probably see more of a mix of sun and cloud tomorrow. Temperatures gradually getting back up into that seasonal range as well. By the time we get into Thursday, though, we can expect to see more of that rain returning. Again, largely looking like it'll stay within southern Saskatchewan, affecting more of the southwest and even into the southeast. You can see some more storm activity in the Estevan area Thursday late afternoon. By Friday, though, we have a lot more of that storm activity returning, affecting Saskatoon. Regina will also see some heavy rainfall come through on Friday as well. Temperatures will start to see also cool down a little. Now, heading into tomorrow, though, you can see areas like Lloydminster, even Prince Albert, getting close to average, 25 degrees, 28 for La Loche, 23 and cloudy for La Ronge. 23 in rain for Yorkton tomorrow, 22 in a mix of sun and cloud for Saskatoon, 27 and a mix of sun and cloud for North Battleford. It does look like this day tomorrow will be the only day that we see these very warm temperatures, up to 29 for Maple Creek, mainly sunny. Over in Moose Jaw with current 27 degrees and 29 for Estevan tomorrow as well. We'll see some storm activity possibly tonight and then returning by tomorrow evening. And for Regina tonight, 15 degrees is what we'll dip down to. The average, of course, being about 12 degrees, and tomorrow warming up to 25. But take a look at those winds. We could expect to see the wind picking up to about 50, even gusting up to about 60 kilometers an hour. And this is what we have coming up for the next 7 days. So again, 25 and a mix of sun and cloud tomorrow. Cloudy Thursday, 26 degrees, and then the rain and a risk of thunderstorm return Friday, 20 degrees. Rain sticking around Saturday, 20 degrees, and then Sunday, as our weekend ends, warming up to 23, but still quite cloudy on Sunday. A little bit more sunshine returning on Monday with a mix of sun and cloud, 23 degrees. And then gradually we will start to see the warm up closer to our average mark, 25 degrees, mainly sunny on Tuesday. And I looked further down. We are going to still see those temperatures still in the average range of about 27, 26 degrees later on, heading into next week. It's just this week, your first full week of August, that's a bit rainy and cloudy.
A little rainy, a little cool down. We do need some rain.
That's right.
All across the province anyway, so.
That's right.
We will take it. Thanks, Sabine.
You bet.
A Ukrainian dance troupe from Saskatoon just returned home from a tour of a lifetime in Italy, where they proudly shared their culture with audiences from around the world. An emotional experience considering what's happening right now in Ukraine. Carla Shinkaruk has that story.
Saskatoon's Yevshan Folk Ballet Ensemble treated crowds in Italy to their talents recently. Given that Ukrainian dance has become a global symbol of unity and resilience in light of the war in Ukraine, this tour held a lot of significance.
It's a great opportunity to represent Ukraine and Canada and just dance for everybody who might not be able to right now.
The Yevshan director is originally from Ukraine, as are some of the dancers.
Culture is really important to us, to keeping up, and I'm really proud of my group came to Italy and present Ukrainian culture far from the Ukrainian land.
The tour lasted lasted 2 weeks, but left a lifetime of memories for the 35 dancers.
It has been such a privilege to share the stage with my family and also my dance family, and being here in Italy, just, sharing that Ukrainian culture.
Yevshan is marking a 65th anniversary, and this dancer has been with the group for 12 of those years.
There's so many different cultures performing. It really makes us feel like we are a part of something bigger than just Canada and Saskatoon and what we do at home.
There was a parade of nations. Some of the other countries represented: Poland, Germany, and Hungary. The audience seemingly aware of the significance of Ukraine's current struggle for freedom. The crowds were wowed by their skill on stage, and that meant many photo requests afterwards.
We really enjoy connecting with our audiences and getting to know and pictures and make connections, and that's how we work as Yevshan, and we're really proud to be doing it out here.
So when they're back in Saskatoon, this group undoubtedly will be sharing their experiences as ambassadors for not only Ukrainian culture and dance, but for the province of Saskatchewan and Canada. Carla Shinkarek, CTV News, Montecatini, Italy.
Still ahead, the WCBL's Regina Red Sox and Moose Jaw Miller Express prepare for the postseason.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders are in the midst of their second bye week with a CFL leading 7-1 record. That is just the third time in franchise history the team has posted that mark 8 games in. According to Rider historian Rob Vanstone, the other 2 times were 1970 and 2013. In 2013, of course, the Riders would actually go 8-1 to lose 6 of their 9 games to end the season. That resulted in them finishing second in the West. But then, of course, they beat BC in the West semi, the Stamps in the West final in Calgary, followed by that historic Grey Cup win over Hamilton at Old Mosaic Stadium / Taylor Field. Now, in 1970, they did finish 14-2, but they did lose to Calgary in the West final. Riders' next 5 games will all be against teams above the 500 mark. They'll be at home against Hamilton, in Calgary, back-to-back versus Winnipeg, and finally at home against Montreal. So that'll be a huge 5-game stretch after the bye week. For 2 teams coming off spectacular 2024 campaigns, 2025 did not meet expectations for the Regina Red Sox and Moose Jaw Miller Express, but still both teams have earned playoff berths and are embracing their underdog roles as they head into the postseason. Donovan Mace has more.
It wasn't the regular season Rye Pathakos and the Regina Red Sox had in mind back in May.
We had a 6-7 game heater, and then we never put big streaks together, but we win 2 or 3, lose 2 or 3, lose 5. We learned a lot along the way.
Earning just 29 wins and 27 losses, the Red Sox have the number 3 seed in the WCBL's East Division, heading into their round 1 series with the Medicine Hat Mavericks.
This one's hit high and hard to left. Looking up is Uzawa, and it's a grand slam home.
And despite not meeting their own expectations, the Sox feel their best baseball in 2025 is in front of them.
This one's hit into right field at the wall. It's good!
After closing out the regular season with 3 wins in the last 4 games, including 2 walk-offs.
3 games, winning 3 in a row, and coming out here scrapping hard towards the end, shows the fight that this team has. We're starting to play our best baseball in the last week here, and that's where it counts in the playoffs. So we're ready for it and looking forward to it.
Meanwhile, the Moose Jaw Miller Express are on the defense.
And that's 53.
The 4-seed Millers are hoping to repeat as East Division champions and return to the league championship final.
We're very well prepared for these situations, and it's just kind of our team's culture over the last 4 years. It's just always just had to grind it out.
It is a David versus Goliath matchup with Moose Jaw up against the Saskatoon Berries.
Rell hammers this one to left field, and it is over and out. Home run, grand slam.
Who set a new league record for most wins in a season at 46.
Playoffs are a time to reset, and we respect the Berries more than anything in the world with the record they just put up, but we're going to give them all they got.
The WCBL playoffs get underway Wednesday night with Moose Jaw in Saskatoon for Game 1, while Regina is on the road in Medicine Hat. Donovan Mace, CTV News, Regina.
Into right center.
Coming up, catching up with the newest firefighting graduates in Melville.
welcome back. We're going to take a look at your rural forecast for tomorrow. Many places will see more sunshine than we have today, but as that system's continuing to make its way into the northern part of the province, we will still see some cloudy and rainy areas, including areas like Melfort, 23 degrees, 22 with a mix of sun and rain for Wynyard, and a risk of thunderstorm for Hudson Bay, 21 degrees. Over in the west, though, remaining quite warm and sunny for many parts, including Meadow Lake, Lloydminster, mix of sun and cloud, 27 degrees, 26 for Spiritwood and Kindersley, and for Outlook. When we get closer to the southern border, those temperatures do warm up. 30 degrees expected for Coronach tomorrow. Still some rain expected up for Kenora, 23 degrees, and over in the west there, 29 for Maple Creek, mainly sunny, and that'll be the story for tomorrow for many parts of the province. It'll start to change as we get into nearing the end of the week, but this did not update for me. It should be Asquith, but I'll show you what Hepburn's showing. 24 and rain for Hepburn. It should be Asquith. That is also going to be seeing 24 degrees and expected rain tomorrow with the winds up to 40 kilometers an hour.
One person distracts while the other person grabs, and now Regina police are looking for your help to find this diversion duo. Between June 2nd and June 12th, police say multiple people were distracted by one man while the other man stole the victim's credit card from their belongings. The first suspect is described as a man with a skinny build and facial hair, wearing a t-shirt with an unbuttoned shirt over top, plus jeans and a blue or black ball cap. He was also wearing sunglasses on the neck of his shirt. The second suspect is a man with a larger build than suspect one and dark hair. He kept his sunglasses on in the store and was also wearing a white ball cap, joggers, dark shoes, and a shirt with the phrase "No Place" across the chest. The pair are working together.
I'm Belton Johnson, board member with Regina CrimeStoppers. Did you know CrimeStoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash rewards for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina? Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call CrimeStoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
CrimeStoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
Air Canada flight attendants have voted overwhelmingly in favor of strike action.
We're tired of being undervalued, underpaid, and often not paid at all.
The union representing more than 10,000 workers says it was 99.7% in favor of a strike if necessary. The vote comes after contract talks with the airline ended without a deal. Having taken the vote, the union says it could walk as early as August the 16th. Canada's Privacy Commissioner has begun an investigation into a cybersecurity breach at WestJet. Philippe Dufresne says the incident involved a malicious actor who gained access to the airline systems. The investigation will examine the security safeguards WestJet has in place at the time and the adequacy of its notifications to impacted individuals. The airline first issued a public advisory about the incident on June the 13th. Another new group home for people with intellectual disabilities is now open in Regina.
3.
Ribbon cutting took place at the new facility that 4 people with intellectual disabilities have called home since October. The Ministry of Social Services put forward $1.2 million in startup funding, along with nearly $500,000 a year in operation funding.
Being able to give individuals that have intellectual or physical disabilities not just a place to live, but a home that they can be proud of, and be able to live their life to the best of their ability is incredibly important to us.
I've lived with RRC since I was 16. It's a good organization, and Yeah, they do a lot of good. If they haven't taken me yet, I wouldn't have a place right now.
It means they're living in a small adjusted family so that they can have autonomy. They can choose what they eat, when they eat. They can go grocery shopping with the staff and enjoy that as a part of their autonomous living. In a large institutionalized setting, they do not have that option.
The home's operator, the Regina Residential Resource Center, has been housing people in the city for more than 50 years. This is their 5th residential home. With wildfires becoming more and more common, the province needs more firefighters now and in the future. Regina Declutz spoke to a group of firefighting graduates who are ready to get into the line of fire.
You're going to be the ones running towards the danger when others run away. You're the ones that will protect lives, property, peace of mind. And you're the ones.
On Friday, friends and family gathered in Melville to celebrate Suncrest College's newest firefighter graduates.
If I was still a firefighting captain, I would be very happy having them on my truck to be part of a team that I was on, yes.
18 individuals went through over 4 months of training.
There's using equipment, so the fire trucks, the hoses, the self-contained breathing apparatus, the hazardous materials is a big thing, industrial firefighting, wildland firefighting, which we just introduced this year.
Firefighter students also learned to push their own limits.
There was a lot of stuff I didn't know I could do until after the course.
For example?
Confined space with an air tank on and all my structural gear, rescuing somebody down a ladder, and being able to handle the heat.
The training was not without personal sacrifice.
My daughter, first time being away that long from her. It's like 4.5 months of traveling back and forth on weekends, and not seeing her all week was pretty rough.
Now that the training is over, graduates are eager to begin work.
I've always been kind of someone that likes to help people, so that was kind of the motivation, and I love it. There's just something about when the tones go off and you get a call to go out and help, and that's why I'm here.
As wildfires continuously ravage our province, the need is evident for people to protect and serve our community. Regina Declutz, CTV News, Melville.
Stocks today going in different directions. The TSX went up by 549 points. The Dow Jones dropped by 61 points. Take a look at the Canadian dollar. It went down 0.04 of a cent to 73 cents U.S. On the commodity front, gold up $7.01. West Texas Intermediate crude down $1.13, while Western Canadian Select crude went down $1.93. And gas in Regina is commonly found for $1.39.9 cents per liter. Coming up tonight after the newscast, we have...
I knew this was happening. I was waiting for your return.
7 Big Bang theories. Either that or we just have a monkey pounding the keyboard.
No, that's real.
We can come back now. Enjoy your Big Bang Theory marathon. There was an adorable race at a WNBA game with a heartwarming twist at the halftime show.
She just randomly decided to stand up in the middle of the
All right, so a bunch of babies line up with one parent who then releases them to crawl to the other parent on the opposite side. But check out this little girl.
She's kicking butt.
She just got up to a quick start, but then she stood up and took her first steps ever to win the race. She was like, listen, I know how to make this happen. Oh.
I crawl when I can walk. I don't know. I'm sensing conspiracy.
No, look at the shock on the mom.
She's a good actor.
Oh God. You know what? You're still upset about the Big Bang Theory. All right, well, she found her honey was the theme of a bachelorette party in Tennessee, and apparently a local bear was looking for some honey, too.
No! He's gonna eat the balloon. Not the LaCroix.
Yep, guests had to rush inside after this bear decided to waltz in. It looked interested at the steaks sizzling on the barbecue and then stayed for the champagne that was chilling in an ice bucket. Pop that champagne. Big Bang's next.